Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel. My name is Chris Farah, and tonight it's Monday, November 17th. It's 7:04. I'm 4 minutes late. PM as we talk about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Of course, we are knee deep in the first batch of 10 episodes of the season 3, and honey, I have been behind. Because that's my nature. Hi, I'm 4 minutes late to my own lie, but also because, things happen just that you just never know are going to happen. And so I find myself in Orange County instead of being where I was going, thinking I was being, which of course is LA. And I come to you a day late and more than $1 short, but I have a combo episode of episodes 3 and 4. Of course, 3 is called The Book of Demi, and episode 4, The Book of Deceit, as we get ourselves in the thick of all of the hair of the drama of Jesse and Jordan and what's going to happen, which is hilarious. Okay, so, and I'm really happy because I got to see Layla's hair storyline, and that made me also like really happy. Hello, Hawaiian dude. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah, I am in a different locale, and so pardon my little like waiting as I had to get all my stuff together, like lighting and stuff like that, which who knows what it looks like. But okay. So people are coming in the room. Hello. Also straight up, because let's be honest, there are some similarities between this show, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and Sister Wives, which I also do lives for, but I mistakenly labeled this one Sister Wives when I knew I was talking about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, even though I had to talk about Sister Wives coming up and 90 Day Fiancé the other way. All of that's coming. And of course, at least 3 more episodes to get through, God bless, the first drop. And then on Thursday, we'll get more Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So I was really into this, though. Like, this is stupid and great. This is stupid and great in all the ways in which shows about really vapid insular drama can be great. I mean, like, right, I use the word insular too much. I mean, really dumb political dynamics between groups of people that is when you get in the hang of everyone's point of view, like good storytelling, but also just so superficial, just so immature. Like sometimes talking about the show or even like telling people I watch the show is like shameful. And, I get that. And I do feel it like in Lebanese Arabic, it's like I be shum. At the same time, like what it is. So, okay. So 3 minutes in, let's start talking about a combo episode, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Of course, season 3, episode 3 and 4. This is a live recap. I'll be doing Sister Wives and 90 Day Fiance the other way coming up Tuesday and Wednesday this week. And I'll be obviously finishing out. It'll be 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 3 more episodes. Okay, my loves, let's get in. So we are hot on the very intense showdown between Marciano, of course, detectives Michaela and Detective Macy, who are like, I mean, opening up, as they'll say, an incorporated company, but let's be honest, it's like detective work or whatever. Now they're pregnant, and so they feel like the least threatening for this man to deal with, and so that's what's happening. Also, they can't really like there's not a lot of drama happening in their lives because they're like, well, not yet, with the whole pregnancy thing. So like it does feel like I wonder how the producers dole out who's doing what. Because on the macro level of the show, we know that Whitney was at first a villain, and now Demi is villain. I don't know why I can't say Demi. Demi is a villain, and now low key we're going to move into, as we know at some point at the end of this, someone else. Like, and there's the mini villains that pop up, and the men make great mini villains. Obviously, Zach was one, and we're kneeing into Jordan, okay, which that's fine. So at this point, Marciano, though, is just a fuck boy. He's just they describe him throughout this show as greasy, as oily, as chubby. It's funny because his charm is schmarmy. Some of his lines are so like, oh my God. Now, if I get it because sometimes it just is nice to feel so viscerally, palpably wanted by a horny individual if you haven't experienced that, and if this person looks significantly different than, like, who you are with, just for Jesse, this is what I mean. So I feel like I can understand that, and also Marciano looks very different from, Demi's husband. Remember that old guy? Okay, God bless. So, obviously, at the end of, the talk that we now realize the following things. Marciano lied when he said that Jesse and him fucked. They never fucked or boned or whatever word you want to use, but obviously had sex. I used the word knew each other biblically, which was nicer, less crude than what I just did. God bless. And the second thing is that Demi told him to do all of this, like had told him to try and fuck up Jesse's life a little bit. And the girls know that he liked Demi and all that stuff. So it's a little messy. And like not only do the girls know that, like Jesse knows that. So all of it's just, but that is what's happening. It's a lot of people trying to piece together something and save their friend, also have a show, you know, and this guy's obviously going to like film. And he is, yeah, like a perfect fuck boy kind of foil. There's too many F's in that word. Okay. So basically, now Demi is again like found out to be an absolute horrible person. And the girls get in the car and they call Jesse, and she at first like they trick her to be like, girl, yeah, like he just wouldn't budge. And so it's just gonna look like you're just like a kind of slutty girl, for the whole season. Sorry about it. And she's like, no. And she's like with Layla, who's like wearing this hat. And the hat is like, I support a woman's right to tell a man to shut the fuck up. Great. So I support a man's right to shut the fuck up is what it is. So basically, they're like, no, girl, just kidding. We like totally got it. Maybe he totally admitted that he lied. And Jesse's so happy. And she really just like jumps into midair. And the way she jumps into midair is already having been in a kneeling position, almost like that fawn Bambi position. She must have a really good, strong core, She does something solid core, honey. It's like a very solid core. So they also learned that he had kissed Demi on the lips, like at the villa to say goodbye. And obviously, she had never admitted to that. And they not only had knew it, but Jen was like on top of like knowing it. So, with a lot of vindication for Jesse, which we're happy about, and Layla's there for it. She just feels good about at least having that part mixed up because every time they talk about this affair, and she's doing herself such a disservice by calling it an affair because they kissed twice. Like if she was like framing it as, you guys, I'll be honest, like I fucked up and I kissed this dumb greasy dude. Even if she does like him, which I feel like she does, whatever. I feel like if she, okay, even if she does like him or she just wants an out, whatever, we'll get into what her like psychological backstory of why she's allowing this when we get into that point. Um, it's like Jesse is well, I want to actually move on because I really want to get into what happens when they all meet up with him. Okay, so God bless. So let me just move on from this. So God bless. There's a lot of backstory. He's smarmy and he's like, in cahoots with Demi and also like put Demi under. I'll say her name different every time. Don't worry. Blend it all on her, and so the girls know all of that now, except for Miranda. So they go to this event, and the event is for Jesse's House of Foils collab. God bless. They're all wearing pink dresses. Squig is there. And Miranda's there, like, hey, girls, hey. Now, Miranda is slowly trying to obviously get into mom talk, and she feels like she should already be there. And we're like, well, girl, you need to like make some moves. I think she feels like she can rest on her loyal laurels because she was there in the beginning. But we're like, I didn't see you. I didn't see you. Chris Fair didn't see you. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't privy to it. Anyway, so basically, she understands that something is afoot, specifically with Jesse, and Miranda gets that no one wants to tell her, which feels ucky. Because Layla's like, "Oh my god, girl, so much has happened. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it just like whenever when Jesse wants to talk about it, and so um They also they also have a moment where they come together. Miranda, like, tries to listen to this part even though they've already walked away from her, where they're like, "We think that she's the mole." And this is, like, some kind of, like, sad side story, which I don't feel is great are gonna pay off. I mean, if it pays off in the end and she is, then God bless, but she keeps saying that she's not. In this moment, we get Queen Taylor's return. She's wearing this like Cherry Dreams number, honey. It's long bodycon Cherry Dreams, skin tight with this like cute pink puffy like vest coat. I really like it for her. The girls were so happy to see her. It's obviously like a queen bee is back. They're just like, yay, it just feels like mom talk again. And it's like, yeah. It's just so funny that Demi really thought that she was going to oust Taylor. What a move. I mean, I don't know what kind of like roid confidence is coming from her husband to think that she ever had a shot of turning all of these girls against. I mean, Taylor, it's funny because like Taylor is, great. I mean, like, I don't know if she's like God's gift. She's, but at the same time on TikTok, she is, she is definitely this kind of every girl that's like hot, but not so wildly model-esque that it'd be, like, off-putting. She's real, and she has, like, a level-headedness and, like, a vulnerability that does seem great, you know what I'm saying? So but at the same time, when she makes bad choices, we're like, "Oh my god." When we hear things, we're like, "Girl, what?" Okay, so at this point, we the girls are like, okay, sorry. So basically, Taylor knows all the things that are happening because she is the queen, and everyone filled her up, including Dakota, about what's happening with Jesse and Jordan. And Jordan's best friends are all the dudes because some annoying part of the show is that they have to talk about dad talk and how dad talk is all the dudes trying to, I don't know, get money so they can probably like take shit back over from the women who make more money. It's funny because there are just like a couple of professions in this world that I do feel like inherently women succeed financially at, you know, leaps and bounds over men. And obviously, the world in which we live, there's not that many professions where that like happens. But those professions like are mom talking and influencing. I think influencers on the whole usually are more female. And the second thing is like models. It's just really hard to make it as, like, a male model, and by make it, I mean, like, l really make enough money to, like, live comfortably for the rest of your life, I think. I think you can do commercial modeling for sure, but, in the sense of, like, there's a lot of male supermodels. Okay, so don't take it away from anyone, so God bless. Jen and Zach are coming back, and Zach talks to Jordan. Now, Zach and Jordan shouldn't be friends just because Jen and Jesse had issues last w season, and it was a lot about, like, Jordan dancing on her and the Chippendale and all that stuff, and a lot of, like, controlling behavior accusations from Jesse to Jen, and now we get Zach being like, "Well, I need to, like, put my tail between my legs and come back and be friends with these guys because A, I'm on the show, B, we're moving back and I have no friends. My name is Zach, and I don't even know what I want to do with my life. I don't know if I want to go to medical school or just, dad talk it up. And they're talking me to dad talk, which I think is sad. I mean, I don't know if there's any more important thing in this world than probably Zach to go to medical school and to have some sort of feeling of power in this world. But for the reasons I just said, which is that he's never going to eclipse his wife's income, dad influencing. I certainly feel like these men that want to feel their masculinity through their purpose and their ability to provide or whatnot. And not that you even have to provide all of the stuff, but just to like bring home a really respectable, sizable chunk. He needs to go to medical school, honey. He needs it. I mean, no one's needed to like, make sure that they're a doctor more than him. I mean, I was his parents and they're both doctors, or at least his dad is. I'd be like, listen, son, if you don't do this, if you just try and be a dad influencer, I think that, I'm gonna write you out of the will. I mean, I think that they should make him do it. Because I think that there's a lot of things about this kind of society that wants women to like especially men to force women to do things. And sometimes I don't mind men forcing men to do things. Okay, so in this realm. So at this after Zach tells Jordan about coming back and Jordan's like, "Here, I'll tell you even one more. Jesse and I are separated. She had an affair and all of this stuff. Like Zach and Jordan start to feel a little bit of like, "They took our jobs," I feel like in the scene, you know? And they took our jobs, meaning the women being able to call the shots, and not just the women that are in their homes, like their wives, but the women collectively that are mom talk. Because the mom talk society business is a group of friends that dance and look hot together, like as Miranda would say, but also have to like each other and respect each other, and it all requires kind of like a constant balance of how you're viewed in your own marriage and then how the girls are viewing you and how the guys are viewing you. So, you know, it's like, and maybe you can tell me this is just the intense political social structures of like couple social groups, but I can't tell if I just have never picked up on that because I'm a single person, even though I hang out with married people. But like, it is a little bit wild. I mean, I think people talk about people while behind their backs and stuff, or like, you know, if things are bad, and, you know, a lot of people on the show have bad things in which we can talk about bad things and behind their backs about it. But also, it's just interesting how mom talk is a government. And it's a government by the people for the people, in which Taylor is queen, but she like, I wonder if there'd be a way in which Taylor could get ousted. It's just that I don't know if her natural personality would require that, because I think that she can fuck up as long as she's accountable, and as long as she is honest and she doesn't, like, you know, really hurt someone. Okay, so they go to another influencer event, and this influencer event is called Jet Set for ACTA. All of these influencer events are like LOL, like her collab, Jesse's collab with the foils. Everything is like, what is happening now? And it's just like seemingly a schedule in Salt Lake City and Provo. They're just jumping in between all the time, different event spaces with kitschy non-alcoholic drinks and souvenirs where they just all get together and they're just dressed, you know, in different themes, and then they just hug each other and go away. It's so interesting. So at this event, Layla knows that Demi tried to fuck up Jesse's life. Obviously, she was there when she got the good news that Jesse had been vindicated. And Demi knew that there was a possibility that Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, including Layla, were going to be at this event. Jet set. So she had texted Layla, and Layla never texted back. Now, that part I would have been like, just text her back. But I think one part of Layla is that she is a little avoids conflict, avoids confrontation, even if it wouldn't be that big of a deal, you know, which is fine. We'll get into it. And so in this moment, I'm like, oh, you could have just been like, yeah, girl, don't come. Because yeah, you don't want to be on the show anymore, right? Like you tried to make the move of like, I'd only be on the show if they pay me 3 times what they're paying everyone else, and so when we said no to that, we're telling you now the show's gonna be here and we don't want you to be here, so don't come, and if you come, you're gonna get paid not nothing, so why would you come? You have to, like, sign a press release to even get on this like, in this space, so, you know, you're gonna get paid s pennies. So anyway, God bless in followers. So basically, she's there and she can tell I'm sorry, she being Demi, comes with Camille. Now, Camille is another OG girl. I don't quite understand exactly what her relationship is with Miranda, because one thing is that Miranda, who claims to be OG, and Camille don't seem to like be super happy to see each other. Miranda does explain Camille. Oh no, I'm sorry. Maybe it's Layla that explains like Camille not. Yeah, it's Layla who's like Camille like didn't want to like be friends with Taylor anymore, and it's like yeah, okay, well then don't come to this mom talk event. Okay, but at this event, Layla and Demi make eye contact and they kind of stare at each other from across the room because Layla doesn't want to go talk to her or whatever. And then so Demi understands how the assignment, which is to go up to her, and then as she's going into Layla, like, give her this eye to be like, "What are you gonna do about it, bitch?" And then when she realizes that Layla doesn't like, "Hi," or anything, she's like, "What? What are you doing?" Like, okay, God bless. So, LOL. So Layla's like, I don't need to be fucking fake with you. I don't care about you." It's a funny thing because this is kind of the second time we've seen one in text and one in real life where Demi is like being dramatic and being like, I cannot believe that you wouldn't take my side, that you wouldn't listen to me, that you wouldn't want to be a friend. And like both Jesse in her texts to Demi after like their big fallout and Layla in this moment, they're like, yep, right, that's correct. We don't want to be friends with you. Okay, let's just start from a place of correct and then move on. But Demi's like, I just like, that's not how you treat a friend. And then Layla's like, oh, good. Okay, great. Because I don't want to be friends with you. Good. That you're right. That's not how I would treat a friend. So, um, she just maintains her innocence that she like the way that she maintains her innocence is that she didn't do anything. And I'm going to show you the text of me telling him, don't do anything. And that I don't condone anything. And that it'd be a really bad look if I did condone anything. So that's me telling you, I told him not to do that. So, and it's like, it's almost like two double negative. It's like a double negative, two no's. I didn't not tell him. It's like, well, I mean, not really maybe like that, but it's kind of like if you told him not to tell her not to say that, it makes me think that at one point you had a conversation where you did and you had to tell him to back down, back off. It's kind of like I guess the Donald Trump thing where he like told the Proud Boys like, "Not now, sirs, but tomorrow," in his weird semantics way, like back down. I don't know. Honey, remember that when that happened? There's been 1 billion horrible Trump things that's happened since then, but let me move on. So, now the girls are gonna go to a different part of Utah. The girls love Utah, and Utah's a beautiful state. So, Salt Lake City we've talked about, Provo we've talked about. They're gonna go to St. George. They went to Beaver. Now, in Sister Wives lore, which is what I named this video when I first put it up because I'm dumb and God bless, I get my Mormons sometimes confused. It's because they're both on TV right now. I would love them to go to Parowan. I'd love them to go to Moab. Okay, so um Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped one part. Before they go to St. George, though, at this dem event, basically Layla is like, "You're a lying bitch," and Jesse and I know that. And she's like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." And then so Layla decides to call Jesse, and then Jesse's like, "Hi," and she's like, "Hey, Demi's here," and she's like, "Well, I don't want to talk to her." She's like, "Good, she's right here." And then Demi's like, "I didn't fucking lie to you," and Jesse's like, "Hang up." So then what basically happens is Demi knows obviously, that Jesse kissed Marciano. And she also knows that she did. But at this event, what she does is she threatens to go live and then talk about Jesse's business on live. Now, why this is like LOL for this scene is because it breaks the fourth wall like completely and utterly, but in this kind of like show within a show that has to, because we know there's drama on the show. We know they market their drama. We know they have to hold their drama of what's happening on the show until the show airs because, like, they want to like keep things and there's NDAs and they're like, experiencing things in real time. And, ju- you know, supposedly Demi's not on the show, is not on a character. And so she can't like use this storyline or whatever. It's like what I'm assuming. And so basically, as she's like in her car and Layla's like, fuck you, bitch, don't you go live. Like, that's so dumb. One of the producers comes over wearing, like Adidas Sambas. So she can't run over there and tries. I think her name is Andrea and has to be like, girl, you signed, do not do that or whatever. And then she doesn't do it. So then they go to St. George. Okay. God bless. And then, okay, so basically at St. George, they're all hanging out, and Jesse, I mean, kind of out of the blue, and by out of the blue, I mean, if I was there, I would not be able to control my reaction because Taylor kind of does, but the way that Taylor does is like definitely maybe because she had gone to therapy, but no one else had anything. If my friend told me what Jesse says in this moment, I would be like, absolutely, but fuck no. Let me tell you. So, having found out that Marciano lied to like fuck her life up and was in cahoots with Jesse's ex-best friend that he liked more and was more attracted to at first, and now he hooked up with you, God bless. After all that happened and after that bullshit, she sits with her friends and she's like, "Hey, yeah, so, because we're here, because, like, Las Vegas isn't that far away, I told Marciano to come over." And all the girls are like, "Oh, hmm, weird." Now, I wouldn't do it from a point of like, "Please don't do that for your husband's sake. For Jordan's sake, don't do that." I'd be like, "Oh, okay, well then, girl, can we be honest about the fact that it feels like you like him then? That you're still in love with him? That you what are you try is it that you wanna hook up with him now because you're, like, halfway in between leaving your husband?" Which, no offense, but is that I just wanna know, is it you're thinking like, "Well, let's see what this is like, because I'm gonna leave Jordan, I might as well be with the person I had emotional feelings with that also has a contract on the show." I mean, I just wanna know exactly what we're getting ourselves into, because I just can't sometimes, like, operate in a space where it feels like, "Well, that's not why he's coming." And also, I wouldn't wanna be around him. Also, it's a really bad look for you, girl. It's kind of, like, weird. I mean, Taylor says it. It's like, "Ooh," and it is. So, I think as a friend, I'd be like, "Let me lay it down. It is a bad look for all of these reasons, except if you can just fall down and be like, 'I think I'm in love with him, and I need to fucking figure it out.'" And she's kind of like she doesn't really use the word she kinda dances around the word closure, but the reasons why she wants to hang out with him are, like, not indicative of someone who has been wronged by someone and feels hurt by it, but definitely someone who wants to see their flirtatious crush partner again. And Jesse wears the tightest pink yoga pants. I mean, the tightest pants I mean, very tight pants. I didn't even think they were making yoga pants anymore like that, honey. Those are Chugi or whatever, because all the girls are wearing like the kind of bell bottomy loose, hip hugging kind of sweatpants now. That's what they're doing. Um, so at this point, Miranda has been like stepping up a little bit because she is like, well, now that I see that Demi is like a whole weirdo, I don't want to be friends with her anymore. And I really want to be into mom talk. And so I'm going to start making some like sassy banters. I'm going to start being funny. And I'm going to like show the girls in Chris Fair that I have a personality. And so I can be a part of mom talk. And she does. She has some good one liners coming up. Utah is gorgeous. The first day, half the pregnant ladies go to eat ice cream, makes sense, and that's Jessie too. And then the other half go to ATV. Miranda loves ATVing. They end up like going to this gorgeous outlook, which is beautiful because Utah is gorgeous. I mean, the red rocks, I mean, it's unbelievable sometimes. Sometimes when you really think about how beautiful the architecture, the mm, agriculture, topography, geography, the land of, like, Idaho and Utah and Colorado, and obviously Arizona, there's just such wide open spaces in Wyoming, there's such like, lush forest greenery, there's, like, just such gorgeous rock mountains, I mean, it's just unbelievable. So, in this ATV peak on a mountain, Taylor was like, "Well, what's happening with us girls? Mom talk is in shambles, God bless." And in this moment, I think Miranda's being like, "Well, you can just add me a new member. I'm right here if you want." Like, you keep saying they're dropping like flies, like, "Hi, buzz, buzz." God bless her. Extensions are being blown everywhere. These extensions are intense. I want to know. Some people have like clip-ins. Some people are getting the full Jesse treatment, much to their dismay. God bless. But I want to know like what's happening with everyone. But definitely Miranda. These are like they look like tape-ins almost. So Layla's like, "Yeah, Miranda, we make her move for mom talk. I'd like need another friend. I definitely want like someone who's like younger and kind of like a little more of like has to work her way up. It'll move me up." And I'm like, "Yes, girl, yes." And Layla is moving. Like Layla's hardcore done so much in the early episodes of this season. I'm so happy for her. So they go to dinner and, they talk about Miranda joining and they finally say yes, God bless. And that's when Jesse's like, yeah, 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 yes to her and also yes to Marciano coming out. And Taylor thinks that that, as I said, Jesse is Marciano's second choice, and also try to ruin her life so that it's so weird that they would want to bring her. But then again, suddenly Eminem are on the case to get a polygraph lady. So I'm like, well, you girls knew that he was coming. I mean, how could you suddenly be like, okay, polygraph? Who even thought about that? I want the 1 to 2 of polygraph. I mean, I don't know. I understand they're like, well, we want to prove that we're not lying so that Demi is, and it's like, this is so like Maury Povich. Okay, God bless. Also, how much do people okay, let me ask you this. Like, do you believe polygraph tests? I would really have to know, and I think that maybe if I did one and they asked me, like, a bunch of questions where I could just go back and forth and lie and, not lie, and really see, like, how accurate it is, because I don't believe in them, and not just because I'm an amazing actress, but I just wanna know, like, what it is. Now, I can be emotionally volatile and sensitive, and I can definitely be ill prepared and get in my head. But I also feel like there's a part of me that can really train and get into something. And if I take polygraph tests and somehow get good at them, I mean, then I don't know. I feel like I can get good at a polygraph test because all you have to do is just answer something nonchalantly where your body and mind are disconnected. Like, I feel like it wouldn't be hard to be like, "No. Yeah. No. Yeah." Maybe she doesn't ask them really fast, and maybe there's just this long pause where she stares at you, and then you really just shake in fear if you're lying. I can't quite tell how they work, but it's interesting. So, um, we get a stupid shot of Jen and Zach learning how to salsa and talking about this whole situation. This is when Zach calls him chubby, which I'm like, "Okay, just so happy to, like, have another man to make fun of on the show." Um Marciano comes to Jesse's room, and Jesse tells the girls that's what they're meeting, and they see her in those pink tight pants. They're like, "Girl, what?" Marciano comes with fake, they're real flowers, but they're like cheap flowers, and they're like in some kind of weird spring motif. They do match her, and when he comes in, he's like, "You look so beautiful," and she's like, "No, I don't," and he's like, "Oh, okay." He does this thing that is so fuckboy, which is to aggressively make you feel uncomfortable with how hot they think you are so that you start to okay, if they know you're insecure, because then you get somewhat addicted to the dopamine of having someone tell you what you wanna hear and what you, like, long to hear so much, you know? And by getting people addicted to your dick dopamine, you can really do some damage. Now, listen, that can be genderless. Women do that all the time. Women can puff up, or any gender can date anyone, do this, where you're just like flattering someone. It's like, or love bombing someone. It's like, you know why I feel like it's okay. Love bombing is one thing. It's more like lust bombing or like attraction bombing or like sex bomb. Yeah. She loves it though. Like, she is like on the inside, you know? And he knows it. So in their room, they talk, whatever, or those dumb flowers. The girls are eavesdropping because this is like 2-year-old behavior, God bless. And it's really Taylor and it's really Layla and maybe like Miranda, I'm not quite sure. And then he just, blames Demi again, says that he was like manipulated or whatever. And then she's like, great. Okay, so we have to do this lie detector thing that the producers want us to do. And he's like, that's dumb. But obviously I get to be on the show for however many episodes. And I wonder how much he got paid for this. So he says yes. And then they do take, a lie detector. I mean, and it's basically like, "Did you guys do more than the 2 kisses? Did you do more than just kiss Demi? Did you" whatever, God bless. And, oh, no. Oh, I see what happened. I messed it up. Okay, so basically then they all go to dinner, okay? And they all go to dinner, and it's because the lie detector test conveniently takes time to maybe not conveniently, but, like, takes time to get the results. And they're hungry, and so they all go to dinner together, and most of the girls are wearing like brown jackets, and that's Marciano too. And the dinner is basically like a bunch of high school girls like sitting down with a guy being like, okay, so how did you kiss Demi? Did you like do that to like reenact it? Like when they said that to this man, I was like, this feels like I'm about to like watch them play like spin the bottle. This is when Taylor's like, met him and I saw him and I was like, oh, why? Now, definitely Michaela, who I have enjoyed in previous seasons. I don't want to get too cynical about her, but a lot of the things that comes out of her mouth are like really bitchy. Now, some things are warranted, and I get that this is one of them, but I do feel like I wonder if it's going to ever get into the realm of being towards women in a way that makes me upset. Okay. Because I do feel like she has a tendency to be a little conservative or whatever. So, having said that, in this moment, she's like, well, he's not going to dinner with us. And I like the way she said it because, truthfully, I guess maybe I would be thinking that. And maybe she's like, everyone else is thinking this too. That part is interesting because Taylor gets to kind of pick, it feels like. And Taylor allows it. Because Jessie, when I feel like if Jessie got told by Taylor, like, not told, but like, girl, I don't know if this is a great idea. Now, here's the thing. We're going to get into if people need to tell people what's good ideas. And how do you tell a friend if you think that what they're doing is a bad idea without disrespecting their, right to self-govern? But also, if you feel like your friend might be a little emotionally or dick blinded or, whatnot. Like, how do you I don't know. It's a hard thing to balance, and definitely in mom talk, the girls have a wild ride. Um, because a lot of like I said, a lot of their marriages kind of become topics of governmental discussion, especially if they're affecting mom talk, which is a business, and they all get to like be like, well, we're all in the business, and so it's part of our business. So, but anyway, God bless. We're gonna get into that more. So basically, all that's important about this is that it's inconclusive if whether he said that Demi manipulated the situation. He's like, yeah, because I didn't quite understand the question. And it's inconclusive about her when she gets interviewed if there was more contact between Jesse and her, more sexual contact than just the two kisses. Okay, episode 4, the Book of Demi. I'm sorry, the Book of Deceit, honey. That was the Book of Demi. Now we go into the Book of Deceit. So the girls wake up at this hotel, and that's shown a bunch of times. So God bless. They're getting some great press out of this in like beige matching cheetah sets. And it's what looks like a lovely farmhousey kind of farm to table breakfast that gets brought to their rooms. And they say there's great biscuits, and the biscuits look great. Super, super big. Like, is there a little butter on the side? There's a little honey? What was happening? So Taylor's like, okay, can we check in? How are you feeling? Because I can't tell. I kind of keep looking to see like how you're feeling about things, and you're joking a lot and laughing. And Jessie breaks down and she's like, yeah, no, this is a thing. I get numb sometimes. I like, don't know how to deal with things, but at the same time, I am like protecting Jordan. And when she says that, it kind of makes sense. She definitely didn't feel a lot of guilt or shame for the 2 kisses. Not that she should, but she called it an affair, so it was, like, confusing, but she wasn't like, "He's such a good husband, why did I do this to him?" Jordan, obviously. So she starts to be like, "He's really emotionally abusive and controlling, and I've been in situations where there's a lot of name calling, and obviously, as you guys know, it's not just the mom talk business, which is, lucrative. It's my own fucking hair business and the salon. This man does nothing, and he's always telling me how I'm doing everything wrong, and I'm doing everything. All the things. Me." So they're like, "That sucks. We hate him," which is great. She feels I feel like supported, which is important. Um, so one more thing is that Taylor's like, okay, also, straight up, Jen's coming back. Just so you guys know, Jen's been back. And Jesse knows that her Jordan and specifically Demi also were like not cool in the sense to Jen's like mental state and her fragility last season. They were like they were the Macy and Michaela, like the two girls on a mission to like have something happen. And so, in light of Jesse's entire marriage now being like front and center of being like an imploding, controlling mess, she knows that she has to reconcile with Jen and it's making her anxious. So we go back to Jesse's house, and then Jordan is there, which is annoying, but he also is obviously very fucking pissed that she went to dinner with Marciano. And he scolds her in a way that is like, I hate you, and I think that you're a dumb bitch for making these decisions. And it's more like he cannot fathom why she's not more apologetic for having done it. But she's not, because she's kind of like, I don't like the way you treat me. So I don't like it. And I don't care because it feels like at the end of the day, it feels like Jesse does not want to be married to Jordan at all. Like at all anymore. It's just that she had a baby with him and she's already been divorced. And so she feels like a fucking failure to get divorced again. But she doesn't want to be married to him, which is probably why she like hooked up with the two kisses of Marciano, right? God bless. I love you so much. So what's annoying is, so instead of just saying that and being like, Jordan, yeah, I don't want to do it. I'm sorry. It's just never going to work out. I just need someone who's going to be able to feel good about what they're bringing home because it's all me, and therefore they don't have time to nitpick what I'm doing. That's what I need. Okay? So please go find someone who you can provide for and will give you the life you want. And I won't even like charge you child support. I don't know, maybe she will. But like I just, but she is holding on. So then she kind of starts crying and then being like, I just wish we talked about it. And I kind of want to be like, Jesse, I'm not blaming you, but there's no part of me that feels like this is working. Like it just feels like you become like a shell of yourself and then he just gets to scold you. Don't let this man scold you. Put this man in his place. This is like Layla and Demi being like, oh, it's because I don't want to be married to you anymore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't care what you think, or I don't care if you think I'm not taking accountability. I don't care if you don't think I'm trying. I don't care if you're upset that I went out with Marciano, or if you think it looks bad on my children. I'll tell you it's because I, as their mother, I'm showing them you're not going to hold me down when I've done everything under your broke controlling thumb. That's what I'm going to tell our sons. Okay. But she just cries and stays there. So she just has to like, I think that she needs a therapist to kind of like help her crystallize what she's feeling so she can like make some moves instead of like getting stuck in this like place of like, no, and letting him just like, I don't know, pretend that he's doing the Lord's work by wanting this marriage to survive when he's like a small little Napoleon of a man that like feels bad about himself and therefore wants her to feel bad and like obviously isn't going to like make her feel hot or sexy. And that's unfortunate. I think it's been a lot. I think it's been obvious for a long time that Jesse hasn't been getting good love, sexual love. Like being held down in a way that feels like some person viscerally palpably wants you and you feel like connected to them, like, and it's weird because Demi had her energy last season was like very alpha aggressive, and believe that they have sex maybe, but it feels more so she was doing that to like because he was telling her husband to claim a throne, and Jesse became like her little beta with a lot of energy to get things done because I don't think that she had like the, release of that energy in other situations, which I guess low key, as we get some of the teaser scenes, there might be some sexual problems in Michaela's marriage too, which we'll get into. So, basically, that's the end of that scene. And then the next thing we get into is Layla's hair's journey, which I'm really happy about. So, listen, we know, God bless, Jessie has a booming salon where she makes a bunch of fucking money and she has the collabs or whatever. And it's unfortunate that, like, Demi was like, told Taylor not to go to Jessie's salon. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that Demi's hair looked great last season and looked bad this season. Taylor's hair looks the best out of all of these girls. Taylor's hair looks better than Jessie's hair. Taylor's hair, whoever she's going to, is very great. Now, I'll tell you, it could also be a texture thing because with extensions, it's almost like you have to have thin hair, a lot of thin hair, like, or a lot of straight hair because I'm a person and it's raining cats and dogs right now in Southern California. My hair is frizzy. So if I straighten my hair, which with extensions I do, it maybe looks good for like a second, but like if it starts to frizz up or whatever, you're going to see you're going to see the frizz of my hair. You're going to see that and you're going to see a textural structural difference between that and the other hair and that, is a dead giveaway. So I don't know what Taylor's using, but every time I see her hair, I'm like, this looks like, I don't know, a wig. It just looks so perfect. So Layla's obviously going through it, and then she goes to see an ethnic hair specialist who she found, and they put in a half visible sewn in. Yeah, with half leave out. So basically what's happening is, as Layla says it, is the extensions that would go like right there, pull, and there's like, blind, bald spots, right? In so if this gets to be your real hair, if this gets to like, if this is your real hair, like laid out or such a way that it isn't extensions right there, you get to sort of like keep that protected and then have the extensions like back here put in a way that like doesn't damage your hair and still gives you length. And obviously the installation's different. And Layla doesn't want to hurt Jesse's feelings, and we get that. But at the same time, it's interesting because, yeah, I would assume that I talk about my ethnicity a lot with my friends or my cultural differences and stuff like that. Like, so and I assume that if like most people are one thing, that there have been like nuanced and or hopefully comforting conversations with your friends about cultures and her. If we're talking about Layla, obviously being like half black, half white. But I don't know if she just never, okay, I don't know if she's never has talked about being black to her white friends ever. Like, I guess that's interesting because I feel like I have a big like group of friends and I have like a lot of different cultures of friends and different ethnicities and I'm one too. And I feel like over the years, everyone just talks about the nuances of their lives that especially dealing with cultures at some time. I don't know what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, my black friends have talked about being black for sure. My Asian friends have talked about being Asian, like in the many different ways it comes up because, like to explain something from like something I might not know or, to, like a nuance or a specificity of something or, like whatever. And I guess, yeah, I understand Layla's like, I didn't have a lot of growing up with other black people. But I am surprised, I guess, that she would be sad to tell Jessie about not going to her salon when it's like obvious there's like no black women there. So, and this is like, and Jessie's a professional, and Jessie like isn't hurting for business. So it isn't like your one head of hair is gonna like take away that much, Maybe she's like, yeah, plus all the drama last season or whatever. But Layla does feel some type of way And so she didn't wanna tell Jessie, and maybe it's because also of Jessie's, like, drama. I would've just, like, sent her a text being like, "Hey, girl, guess what? I found a lovely black hairdresser, and I'm gonna, like, go see her and, like, help her do her business." And yeah, like, Jessie be like, "Great." So, Layla's hair looks great. She goes to, um, hang out with the Goyles, and basically what happened was okay. Basically what had happened is this: Jordan starts to rally troops and wants dad talk, which is not a real thing, to be able to force mom talk to sit down at the table and validate his experience. Now, I wish that he would I mean, that is so stupid. I wish that he'd be like, "No, more so I just, like, want my story out there because obviously Jesse gets a lot of screen time to, like, talk bad about me, but I also want a chance to talk bad about her because I'm also getting paid to be on the show," but that's not what it is. So it's basically like everyone has to come together, and it's under the guise of Jordan feels like he has a big leg to stand on. He wants to put 6 toes down on the fact that he's mad that Marciano went to dinner with all of them, and that all the girls allowed that. And none of the girls were like, "We're standing up for families and the Mormon culture and traditional gender roles and for your marriage. We're standing up for your marriage and making you, Jesse, uninvite Marciano to his face right now at dinner to go sit in the other room for the next 45 minutes before the results happen." Okay? That's what he really wants them to do. Also, there's this air of like, and also the men really want there to be like a little like understanding, a little empathy when it comes to family. Yeah, family. Like we want you guys to care more about family because sometimes you're a little like flippant and you guys don't care about family. You're just like always like trying to get people to like break up and women not to like care about the men so much. I mean, for the family so much, the family so listen to the family's opinions with the men's opinions. Okay, so yeah. And unfortunately, some of these husbands like Zach are like great, and Dakota, I guess too. Ugh. But Taylor, unfortunately, also is like, I felt weird about that decision. And it's like, this is what I guess I was trying to say. I don't want Taylor to talk to Jesse and be like, it's a bad look for Jordan on Jordan's behalf and for you to bring Marciano to your room, which I think is, God bless, and or B, this meal. It would have made more sense if Marciano knew he was coming to take a lie detector test. Because in the room would make more sense that it was in her room because we're going to take a lie detector. But having him come to the room and then springing the lie detector on him was awkward. Because if he had said no, what are you going to do then? Bone in this room? It's confusing. So, and again, I feel like what was more interesting was why Jesse would be emotionally comfortable being around Marciano after he lied on her, tried to hurt her supposedly with her ex best friend that he already had wanted to be with and that had said no or yes to him, that he had maybe gone to or not to gone through to manipulate and then chose you. Like all of those things are more like, how'd you get past that in your mind to hang out with him and accept the flowers and stuff like that? And there could be a lot of reasons, right? Like I've said this, it could be, Jesse being like, I love him, or I think I love him, or I need to have sex with someone that wants to have sex with me. I'm sorry, or whatever. My body's screaming it. I mean, God bless. Or I need to feel alive. Or the producers want me to. But instead, we get her being like very kind of flirtatious and being very overly friendly and those like bad supermarket flowers. And we also get her, again, this is not about the Jordan thing, but we do get her later sort of feeling like regret over treating him so nice and then kind of walking that back and being like, well, if I wasn't so friendly to him or so nice, would I have gotten the information I would have? And I was kind of like, I don't even really understand what information you got. You already knew that he was I don't really understand the information that you got or why it was necessary. It really wasn't. Everything was quote unquote inconclusive, not everything, but so At this point, though, Macy's husband, like, wants her to, like, talk to Jesse, and Macy's like, "Absolutely fucking not," which makes me happy. None of the girls were like, "This is the stupidest absolutely not thing." So, basically, they're gonna go have a barbecue, at the house that she paid for, which is something that Layla said, and it makes me happy that everyone's just, like, absolutely on team Jesse by everyone from Mom Talk. And there's only a couple dudes that are not, but none of them make enough money to have an opinion. You know the golden rule, whoever makes the goal makes the rules. And that's why I think Zach has to go to medical school. And I'm not saying he should bring all the gold home. Definitely, I want her to bring more gold home so she can always have more power. But if you bring nothing home, then you get to say nothing, except except if you pay the equity of your body, which is what women do. Like men don't pay the equity of their body in relationships with families, but women have to. Like I've already been saying this. This is why men have to always contribute financially to me. People will like kill me for that. But it's like, I just feel that way. Like, how can a woman be the complete breadwinner and also like push out babies? And God bless babies. It's a dangerous feat that you wouldn't do that if it was if you had an asset like a house and it went through time and was used for parties, you would know that you would have to give value back to who had taken that time and parties from that house. Does that make sense? No, that was a really bad metaphor. Okay, the equity, it's about equity, okay? Just do your own metaphor. I'm going back to what I'm talking about. All that to say, I hate Jordan, obviously. Okay. So basically Jessie is not going to go to this thing, which I'm happy about because she's like, I don't want a fucking deal. And all the women have to go, which they're upset about, but they're like, we're gonna have to come, really making sure that we have our girls back. And Taylor wants to also like have truth over what feels fair, or what doesn't because of the politics of these couples, because what Taylor says is how Zach and how every other boyfriend and husband rule their lives, which is great. It is great. So that was the end of that episode. I was really happy for Layla. I was really happy to get some backstory of like how Layla's like, yeah, I converted, and then I never read that part of the Mormon scripture where they said that thing about dark skin and being cursed. So when I found that out, I was like, absolutely fucking not. Never went back, but I'm still in the scrolls. Also, it was great to learn that Miranda and Chase still wore their garments like when they first got married. Because they're like real hot looking people, and if I could, yeah, it's like what is that like? And did you like so interesting? Garments are so interesting. I got a little bit. I have to see what they look like. Um, does he take them off for every night? What is the process? Is there a ritual of taking off the garments for lovemaking? Um, yeah, Taylor's like, I'll never marry, or I really don't want to marry Mormon again. And like Michaela and Macy are like, well, some are great. Yeah, like the angels, Jen, Macy. Jen, Michaela, Macy. Macy is what I just almost called them. How do I make a name for Jen and Michaela and Macy? So it's Macy, mm, no, Sniffer. No, I think that just in case Jen doesn't pair up with them, I'll just use it. I'll just keep using Macy. Um, I really want to know what happens, and I'm excited about what happens because, unfortunately, with Michaela, I mentioned that she's been a little bitchy this episodes and has like said some bitchy things aside, and I feel like low key when she was like, I didn't give Layla a +1 to her St. Patrick's Day event after they kind of ruined her birthday and she obviously wanted to come with a friend. It made me like be like, what the fuck? But also they had low key dropped hints that was unspoken trouble afoot for other marriages and they kept, showing them. So They're not having sex, I guess, or there's something wrong with their sexual life, I guess, or we'll have to see what that is. Although she's pregnant, so I mean, I don't know if it's like just of recent or always or what is actually happening, we'll find out. But my loves, that brings us to the end. Can you believe it? What have you guys thought? Out. Thank you so much for being here. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Please give it a thumbs up if you haven't yet. I really appreciate you being here and spending any time with me as we talk about this fun, dumb show. And there's like a lot of horrible things in the world, a lot of great things in the world. And this is just one of those mediocre things that passes the time. But, it does allow us to talk about some of the breath, some of the deep human topics, some of the unspoken stuff. It really gets us at least to like consider how other people live and how we feel about it, and if we judge it or not as being good or bad. All right, my loves. Listen, I hope you have a great night. You absolutely can follow me here on YouTube. I also have a Facebook. Please go to Chris Farah on Facebook. Vanity Fair on Facebook is my group I always post before I go live. Please go to Chris L. Farah on TikTok and Instagram. I also have a Substack, and I'm trying to write more. I'm writing more for sure. And I'm also trying to write more poetry. So I'm working on my newest poem. All of that is happening. But other than that, new 90 Days coming up, new season, 90 Day Fiance. Plus, I'll talk about Sister Wives and Toe as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, my babes. Be well, take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art. Okay. Thank you. Bye.